Hi, Instagram. Waiting on Facebook. There's Facebook. So right now, I am alone doing this solo tonight. Tom may come in just a minute. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to the show. It's not a show. So this is that awkward part, Deb, where it's just you and me, and we're waiting for other people to sign on. And I have no way of knowing. Oh, it says there are 4 people on Facebook already. So hi, guys. I cannot see you. Jeff, Jessica, Joanne. There's like a delay for Facebook, and we're going to see how this goes with me not having Tom here to tell me what you guys are saying in real time, because it's an extremely I wonder if Facebook knows that I sometimes let a bad word slip, so they put a delay on here. Do you think that's possible? And Facebook is cutting my head off a little bit. So, are you guys ready? I said that I would start tonight off with announcing the winner, the winning title, and the winner who picked it, because there was one winner for me for tonight. I mean, it was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. So, hi, Carol. And I just heard my husband come in, and y'all can't see it, but off camera, I have his dinner and his tea ready for him. I did laundry today. I took kids to a doctor's appointment. I did work. I was just back there thinking, Michelle, you're a rock star. See, my inner critic is turning into an inner cheerleader. Not like that every day. But today, I took a DNA test, and I am 100% that good. That's what it showed just today. So, hey, Joanne. Wayne. Hi, Joanne. Oh, look, Tom's here.
I am ready.
So we're going to give him just a second to sign on before I announce the winners. I'm a sucker. I'm just kind of a sucker, because I feel like I needed to give a second and third place prize, so there will be those. So we have second runner-up, first runner-up, and then the grand prize winner, who I hope signs on here soon. Hi, Jamie Frank. Hi. That's on Instagram. So, giving Tom one more second. You guys hang in there with me. I know this is that thing.
What do you need? What do you give me a second for?
I need to know who's on here.
Oh, yeah.
Who's on Facebook. Because it's really slow for me.
Jeff Miles, Jessica
Yeah.
Miles, Christina Freeman.
Hi, Christina.
Carol Clark.
Oh, there's Christy. Rowan.
Christy Peluso Rowan.
You just have to say first name, last name.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so it doesn't look like, well, I don't want to give too much away. I'm terrible. Who was the guy who totally messed up the Miss America pageant or the Miss USA pageant? What was that guy's name? He does Family Feud. What's his name? That comedian.
I've forgotten that, but yes, I know who you're talking about.
The dark dude.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? You guys know his name? He totally messed up the pageant because he announced the wrong winner. Steve Harvey. I am totally pulling a Steve Harvey right now. I'm messing this up. So I'm announcing the winner of my bi-weekly right now. Yes, Steve Harvey. So I don't know if you guys really understood what you were giving me a name for, but if you haven't signed up for my free journal through my website, it's there. So I'm sending out emails, not too much, because who reads their emails every day? I don't. But I just want to have another way of connecting with all of y'all. So I have an email list. If you aren't on my email list and you'd like to be, because it's now going to have a fun little name to it, That's what we were picking the name for, is my email that's going to go out right now, probably bi-weekly, because I first had grand ideas of sending it every week, and I just can't, y'all, because I am 100% not that good. But bi-weekly is the goal now. So if I do that, you'll be really excited. If you get it once a month, you'll be really excited. And I'm giving Tom a look because I don't like what he's doing off camera.
I'm eating.
So the name, y'all were picking the name of my bi-weekly emails, okay? I just wanted a cute little catchy name. So the second runner-up, sorry, I'm getting to it. The second runner-up was Michelle's Memos, and that was picked by Jess Miles. Jess, you're getting a Chick-fil-A gift card. Yay, you're getting a Chick-fil-A gift card. The first runner-up, this one got a lot of votes, and I really wanted to pick it, and my stepmom even picked it, and I don't think she understood what the play on words is. But so many of you picked this one, and it cracks me up because you know my sense of humor, but I just don't think that should be my branding. But I love it, love it, love it. Do you know what it is? Anybody have a guess? Anybody? The one that got the most votes, if you were watching, you saw it. It's For Fox's Sake, and that was thrown in by Becky Smith. So congratulations, Becky. You also get a gift card to Chick-fil-A. She is not on here, but maybe she'll see this later. So Becky, you are a big winner, the proud owner of a Chick-fil-A gift card. Now, drum roll please, the winner of the name and title of my email, my bi-weekly email, goes to Andrea Fonash in Pennsylvania. Also a Chick-fil-A gift card, but here is her name. I don't know if anybody was watching this. We were going to save it because it was so good. I thought, oh, maybe I want to do something else with that name. But I was like, nope, this is the name.
Is it Michelle's emails?
No.
Okay.
Boring. Foxygen. Like oxygen. A breath of fresh air, except from the fox. I loved that. So clever. I should have, of course. So, Andrea, congratulations. You get a bigger Chick-fil-A gift card. So, that is the winner of the bi-weekly email title, Foxygen. So, it's a breath of fresh air from me to you bi-weekly, every other week. So, there you go. That's the announcement. Okay, so let's dive in. If Tom finishes dinner and is able to tell me some things,
Well, I'm good.
over there, he's probably gonna give you guys a little pump up. We haven't done a check-in in 2 weeks on the third. I think we're actually coming to the end of his 30-day challenge on the This Day journal. So hang tight. So we were talking about this week about ramping up versus ramping down. Here we are knocking on the door of September, the last 4 months of the year. If you saw my video, I talked about the fact that this is the time of year where we are so far removed from January and the things that we were like, yes, I am going to get out of debt. I'm going to save more money. I am going to run a marathon. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to do all the things that we say we're going to do. And by September, we're like, what was that? I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. Are you kidding? I'm not running a 5K or a marathon. Are you kidding me? Unless something's chasing me. We get to where we're so far removed because the momentum to do things and to change, we wait for big new beginnings, right? So by September, we're like, I didn't mean that. What in the world? I was probably drinking. It was New Year's Eve. What are you talking about? So what we tend to do, what our human nature is we start settling in. Maybe we've been health conscious during the summer a little bit because, we're in our bathing suits or whatever, or maybe we're not. But we become very lax. We become very cozy. We get to wear more clothing. We get to snuggle up. And we start heading towards Christmas. So everything just starts getting lax. And I feel like what happens is by the time January comes around, to make changes is that's why we have to ramp up so hard in January, because we have let it go so long that by January we're really cranking. But I have this theory that if we would not ramp down from September to December 1st, some will give us December, but from September to December 1st, if we would not ramp down but ramp up, by the time January comes around, we're already like going down the hill with momentum towards the changes that we want to make. So I am not telling you right now to make big, huge changes. I first want to challenge you to think back to the things that you said that you wanted to change about yourself back in January. Now, here's where it's a little different. Are you guys still with me? I don't want to hear anybody's goals on their physical self, because everybody everywhere talks about how to make changes from the outside, and it's because it's easier. It's easy. And I know some of you are like, no, it's not. I've been trying to lose the same 10 pounds for 18 years. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it's easier to focus on making a change to the outside than anything else, and we don't go past skin deep. Okay? You guys with me? So, I want to know, I am not here to be your health coach. I'm not here to be your doctor. I am here to help you become emotionally and relationally fit. So, we're gonna be peeling back the layers of some of this in the coming weeks, and I'm trying to prepare us for that. So I want you to think, while we're right here at the table, I'm sitting at a table. I know it probably looks like I'm sitting in the middle of some room, but I'm not. I'm sitting at the end of a table. That's why I say, come to the table. I want you to think about, what relationship do you keep avoiding fixing? Is it with your grown kids? Is it with a spouse? Is it with a parent? Is it with a best friend? A coworker? A neighbor? What relationship? And if you say, I don't really have one, great. Because the next question is, what relationship needs attention that you are putting off? Most of us don't think that way in January. Oh yes, this is the year I'm gonna make things happen in my marriage, or this is the year that my neighbor and I are gonna get along. This is the year that me and my neighbor are gonna connect, whatever. That's the first one. The second one is, we don't think about this in January either, but I want to change that. I want to change it for everybody. I want to change the world in this. In January, I want you to think about emotions. What emotions do you keep burying? Okay? So many people use even the physical to avoid getting any deeper. I know so many fit people. I really promise, I know a lot of fit people who have some serious issues relationally, who have some serious emotional baggage. And this, please don't hear me. I am not anti-fitness. I am married to a guru fitness guy, and I love every part of it.
Speaking of which, Stella is watching, Marie is watching, so is Wendy and Kim.
Wait a minute. Kim Jones?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Stella as in my mother?
Absolutely.
You guys say hello to my mama. Hi, mama. The fact that you have learned how to do this, I am so stinking proud of you. Mwah. My mom's watching, y'all, so I'm gonna have to behave. I learned it from her.
So I got two questions out there. What emotions are you burying and ramping down between September, or ramping up from September to January instead of ramping down?
Okay, so I'm getting to that. So just hold it with those questions. So I'm back on my roll here with, in January, we don't think about what emotions am I burying. Yankees say burying. How do we say it in the South?
Burying.
No, it's not.
It's not a berry on a tree.
Shh. How do we say it in the South, y'all? I'm losing it because I'm sitting next to a Yankee. We're burying it. That. Okay, what are you burying with your emotions. I don't know how to say it. What emotions are we emotions are we trying to avoid? So we don't think about that in January. We don't think about, hey, this is the year I want to get my anger, my bad temper under control and manage that. This is the year that I really want to address the fact that I struggle with depression way more than I should or want to or have been willing to admit. This is the year that I want to embrace something that I've been grieving, but I haven't been grieving well. Yes, there is a well and an unwell way to grieve. Doesn't always look the same. What emotion, my point is, what emotion have you been putting off, trying to avoid, putting it under something, maybe feeding, maybe drinking, maybe whatever? We run from it. What are you running from? So those are the two things that I want us to think about when I say ramping up, meaning instead of slowing down and saying, I'll deal with it in 2020, because that's what we tend to do. This time of year, we're like, it's fall, it's winter. I'm just going to start letting everything slide. And I don't want to think about any of that stuff because it's cozy and this is my favorite time of year for a lot of people. And we'll just deal with, we just start putting things off. We start ramping down and shoving it to the back and saying, in January, I will deal with it then. That's what I mean when I say ramping down. I want us to ramp up by saying, no, let's do it now. Don't wait till January, because January makes it a harder turn. It makes it harder. It's like going uphill instead of downhill. If we start dealing with these things right now, September 1 to December 1, what happens in January is the momentum is there and we get our speed up instead of having to get our speed up in January and by March we've lost it. We start doing it now. January, we are so at a high vibe that we're ready to conquer other things. Okay? So that's what I mean by ramping up versus ramping down. Any questions?
This is very deep, in my opinion, because I feel that we have to really think about what it is that we're running from. That's
this is why I put the videos out on Tuesday so that you guys can be thinking about this. I feel like I'm a class and a teacher. I put them out on Tuesday so you can be thinking and bringing your questions and the comments to tonight. And my post, even if you don't watch the videos, my posts are giving you a heads up. You like my lipstick and my nails together? Go ahead, Tom. Anything?
Nothing yet. How can you help people unpack and realize what they're running from?
Well, that's a one-on-one conversation. My guess is that the majority of people know what they're stuffing, what they're not connecting with. If you're an adult and you've been an adult for a few years, you know what relationship is always kind of in the back of your mind, or you're thinking about when you lay in bed at night. My journal helps with this. I feel like shameless plugs all the time with my journal, but in my journal at night, on the nighttime section especially, I ask you 2 questions, and both of those questions are so powerful in the sense that they will start to show you a pattern. One is, what was your biggest challenge today? And every day, if you're giving the same answer to what your biggest challenge was, or in a month, if you've answered the same question like 5 to 7 times the same, like dealing with my husband. If you've given that question, that's not true. It was the first thing I thought. If you are answering it the same, that is a hello, red flag here. This is something that needs to be dealt with. The second question that can also serve this same purpose is, what do I need to release from today? And if over and over in a month, you're kind of repeating, maybe not every day, but many times in a month, you're having to release the same thing, you might need to get out. You guys hear me say this all the time, outside influence. That doesn't always mean that you have to go pay and see a therapist or a counselor or a coach. There's books, or talk to a friend or somebody who's an expert in whatever it is. Get outside influence from somewhere if it continues to show up. Hi, Amy Para. So that's. I think I was answering. Was that a question I was answering?
Yes.
Okay. So the second thing I wanted to ask you guys. One of my posts this week, I asked this question. And it's this statement of whether or not you agree or disagree. If we are not changing something, are we choosing it? If we aren't changing it, then we are choosing it. If we aren't changing it, then we are choosing it. And I asked people to share whether or not they agreed with that statement. Because I think where people can really pick this apart is if you've been given let's say a health diagnosis and it's hereditary, and let's say something like Parkinson's, okay? Because I was thinking of a few that I think we can do things to change. But Parkinson's, I don't think that there's anything you can do to change that. It's medications and however they treat that. You can't change that. Okay? So therefore, you're not choosing that. That's not what that means. What it means is isn't there like a addiction quote that talks about give me the courage to change the things that I can. My mom had you had a pillow that had that when I was a kid. Give me the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I think that statement of if we aren't changing it, are we choosing it, is talking about things that we have in our capability to change. If we aren't changing it, I agree that we are choosing it. So I wanted to know if that kind of hit anybody in any certain way. Where are my talkers? You guys are usually giving me some feedback and saying stuff. Where are you guys? Come on.
So Christina says, to be more clear, she's saying that she agrees with things that you're saying. She says, I think if we are not changing something, then we are choosing it. So she agrees with you.
Okay. Thanks, Christina.
This is difficult for me because I think that there are things that we want to change, but we simply do not know how to change. So it's not that we're necessarily choosing to continue a pattern. It's just that we don't necessarily know how to get out of the pattern.
Okay, but if there's that's what I'm going to say it again. If you don't know how to get out of a pattern, that's where we have to reach for outside influence. We have to ask for help. If we don't know how to change something, we have to ask for help.
I think we also have to think about things that are lasting for a season and things that are defining us. So, for example, with my job, I feel anxious because I feel that I'm always trying to catch up to my workload. So when I've been doing the journaling for the last 30 days, I've been writing down anxiety a while. I really think and hope that anxiety is situational based on what I'm experiencing. There could be some underlying factors of me having an anxious approach or attitude to things, so that is one thing I have to explore, but I'm hoping that it's a situational thing. So those are my thoughts on things that I may need to work on changing and figure out how I can find a solution to it.
Or maybe get some outside influence?
Yes.
I mean, he is married to me. Just kidding. I mean, he is really married to me. I'm not kidding about that. So, Amy on here said, yes, Tom. I don't know how to change something I don't like. It's easier. So, Amy, could you expound? What is easier when you say that? I know I have to, but it takes a lot more energy to change than to let it be and hope it resolves itself. Amy, you right on the nose, sister, because I think that's what so many of us do. We just decide we're like little kids and we put the cover over our head and just hope that whatever's scaring us will just go away. or we'll fall asleep, or we'll, it'll just work itself out, and then, we die and go to heaven.
Yes, and Heather adds that it's scary and embarrassing to admit that there's a problem and to ask for help.
That is true. It is. It's hard to ask for help. But again, I come back to, and I think the reason why people don't necessarily love that statement that if we aren't changing it, we're choosing it, is it's kind of hard. It sounds harsh. But the reality is, I think we all have to come to a reality that we have to admit that. Like, I am more comfortable not changing something than going outside of myself to ask for help or to actually address it. And this is where I would say, then we're not talking about it anymore until you're ready to make a change. If you sit with me one-on-one, people who've met with me, there's only so much time I give you to talk and vent about something before we come up with an action plan. Outside of that, we're not talking about it anymore until you tell me I'm ready to have an action plan. So I would say to you, in my strongest, loving, most encouraging, that if there is something that is weighing heavy on you, that is bothering you, and you aren't taking any action towards it, then you're not ready to change it. And you are more comfortable with the discomfort than you are with what it would bring. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit next week with us dealing with emotional pains and how we need to address that. I'm going to talk about that. I don't want to give my analogy away because it's so good. So, any other comments, questions?
No,
I feel like I'm being a little bit stern with you guys, and I'm sorry.
This just prompts me to think. So, as a spouse, if I would come home and I would always complain about the same coworker, could you as a spouse or as a friend say, you know what? I've been hearing you talk about this coworker for the last 3 months. Can we put this to rest unless you're willing to talk to me about how you're going to make changes? Is that fair to do that with a friend or a spouse?
Yes, that is fair. You guys, I wouldn't let it go 3 months. You got about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And Tom knows this. Tom doesn't even get 2 weeks. Tom doesn't even get 2 weeks. He gets like 2 days. But I'm married to him. That's not fair for him to throw in the husband-spouse thing. Not fair. So what he said, yes, it is fair that after a little while, I'm telling you, 2 weeks tops, 2 conversations tops, we say, all right, enough. Let's either figure this out or let's stop talking about it. Okay? Which you have to decide. Can I stop talking about it? Because if you can't stop talking about it, it's so uncomfortable you can't stop talking about it. So it's time to do something. All right. So lastly, one of the ways that you can make a decision and ramp things up from, I'm saying September 1st to December 1st. Again, I don't want to hear, or I don't want you thinking about physical stuff, because that's where we go to. I need to drink more water. I want to walk every day. I don't want to hear that. There are plenty of people out there who will help you, encourage you, and talk about that. That's not what I'm here for. I am here to help you and inspire you relationally and emotionally. And I want you to think about what relationship needs your attention, what emotion needs your attention. Is there one of each, or is it one or the other? So write it down. Write it down. I don't care if it's in a journal, if it's in a notebook, if it's in your phone. I do, because I want you to put it somewhere where you're going to see it. And if you have to put it in code because it's about somebody you live with, put it in code, but you'll know what you mean. I want you to write it down, because when we put something from our mind to paper, it allows our brain to release it and then start thinking about how to solve it. But if we don't write it down and we keep it in our mind, it's like circling a track. It just circles and circles and circles, and our mind can't release it to find a solution. But when we literally take pen to paper and write it down, guys, this is science. our brain releases it and then starts to try to find a solution. Okay? So I want you to write it down. I don't want to hear that you want to get your Christmas shopping done this year before December 1st. That's not what I want. I don't want to hear that you're gonna
What if they're a
run
procrastinator?
Nope. I don't. That is not what we're here for. I want to hear. So Deborah Stevens is on here. Yay! Happy. I'm just sorry. I'm just catching up.
Trisha is watching.
Who?
Trisha is watching.
Hi, Trisha.
Megan is watching. A couple comments here. Christina is saying that's why you should start ramping up by starting the journal. That's going to be a solution to connecting emotionally. And then Carol asks a question: what if the coworker is family? In the confrontation.
Family, coworker, it's a relationship. I'm not defining which relationship. If it's a relationship that is causing grief, strife, tension, problems, anxiety, whatever, we have to address it. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily fix it. You just have to address it. And some relationships cannot be fixed. Some people cannot be fixed. So addressing it means you have to decide, what does that mean? What's it going to look like?
Stephanie's watching.
Stephanie Blessing?
Yes. Man.
Sorry, Steph. I just used your... So...
Jamie Williams is watching.
Who?
Jamie Williams.
Okay.
Is watching.
So, how about you guys take on... I want to see how many of you... I'm not going to sign off until I start hearing... I'm going to force you. So, Christina... She's my little salesperson. She helps me with a lot. She designed my journal, so she was throwing the plug in there. And she's saying, hey, why not start with the journal? So I will go ahead and plug that because that's her telling me to plug it. Is if you haven't downloaded my journal, or if you would like the retail version that's easier, or it's not easy. It's just, Christina, help me out here. There's two versions. There's the download, which you can get it right now. Or you can see me and we can get a spiral bound one to you. But my journal is a great way to do that. Tom's going to talk about that in a second. Okay, he says next time. Actually, I'm going to make a video and post it. So how many of you are going to join me in this ramping up challenge between September and December 1st? And you're going to go tonight, tomorrow, this long weekend, and spend some time thinking about what relationship or what emotion do I need to dig a little deeper and address before 2020. What? I can't believe we're even saying that. How fun is next year going to be when we talk about 2020? I don't think we're going to be like, yeah, we always write just the two numbers. I think I want to write 2020 every time because that sounds fun. So how many are going to say, okay, so I've got a few hands over here. I feel like it's church. I see that hand. I see that hand. I see that hand. So you guys tell me, are you going to join me in this ramping up versus ramping down? I just want to hear it. Come on. I want to see those hands. So, all right. Any hands over there in Facebook land? Because I'm getting them all over Instagram.
Oh, I see thumbs up.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Oh, there's a lot of thumbs up. Why am I seeing angry and like sad faces? And then somebody's laughing. Do you guys know what button you're pushing? Okay, so here we go. Congratulations again to Andrea Fonash for being the winner of my name for my bi-weekly, which is going to be called Foxygen, Fresh Breath Air. I mean, what is that?
A fresh breath air.
Yeah, what is that?
A breath of fresh air.
A breath of fresh air. So next week, guys, I am so excited about next week's video, next week's topic. I had to rehearse my video because in my rehearsal, the Baptist preacher in me came out. I mean, Joyce Myers was here today, okay? Tyler Perry was here today, and I had to actually write it out so I could be like, chill out. So we'll see if you see that next week in the video, because I prefer my ramped up, like bring it. But that's a little overwhelming for a number of people, and especially because people comment on the fact that I use my hands too much. So it's going to look a little, but it is powerful, y'all. Powerful. It's one of them. I told Tom, I texted him, I texted somebody else, and I was like, this video for next week is some of the most powerful stuff that I have been sharing with clients for years. I mean, it's life-changing. I know I'm building it up, but I stand behind it. It is life-changing next week, and I want you to make sure you watch the video. It's a little longer, but it is worth it. Hang in there, find time. I know you have time to do it. I mean, take it to the bathroom with you if you have to. Watch the video. Share this video, because if you know a teenager or a young adult, they need to hear this truth. It is powerful, and I promise it's life-changing. And so next week's Come to the Table is going to be good. I want y'all to watch it and come prepared for us to dig into it, because it's good stuff. Ooh. Guess it's time to go, y'all. See you next week. Bye. Instagram can't see this, but bye, Instagram. Sorry, I have to go really quick because Stella is crying and she's right behind me and you can't even see.